I'm documenting the process of how I go from a Meetup event page and then get an announcement out to the group. So this is the event page for our May Meetup, the neighborhood walk. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste this into my Strong North Tahoe Expert. This is custom GPT. This just kind of is going to help me create the email. So I'm just going to say something simple like, please help me draft an email to Strong North Tahoe members about the upcoming meetup below. Include subject, preview, text, and body. Okay, so I'm gonna paste that in there, and then I'll also make sure to include the link to this event. Link to the event is here. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'll look at one of the previous emails I sent, and basically I'm going to just take a quick screenshot of this. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll provide this as an example of a previous email. So I'll just do that as text. Here is a sample email sent for our previous meetup. Follow this format. Okay, that seems fine. Okay, boom. Okay, so now we're gonna, just give it a minute here, and now it's gonna come and give us this email. So subject, let's see, join us for community walking speech, the problems, finish food and friends. So I just do like a quick preview. These are usually pretty good because behind the scenes, I've put a lot of instructions to try to make these reader oriented, towards the stronger Tahoe community. Okay, that's looking good. Walking the streets, just looking things. Okay, yeah, so I like this. Looks fine to me. I'll probably do a little bit of editing, but basically I'm going to now copy this. What I'll do is back in MailPoet, I'm going to take one of these emails, simply duplicate it. Okay, so now I've got a copy up here at the top. That's going to be using the same type of template. I go and I edit it. Okay, so now I'm just going to paste what I got there. Okay, take out, this stuff, obviously. Okay, put that up here. Yeah, I just kind of put it all in here so I don't have to jump between tabs. Preview text, that's fine. I used to agonize over this more, but honestly, at this point, it's just kind of like, well, to make this sustainable, basically, it's like all about just being able to do this quickly, or else it won't. We end up I used to end up dropping the ball. I kind of stopped doing this, but I'm just like, well, if I can get through this quickly, I'll actually do it. One thing I just realized here is I shouldn't have totally wiped out because there's these template variables. So I'm actually going to just back up for a second here. Okay, so that is, we want to make sure we're keeping that. So I'm just copying that, and now I'm just redoing the edits I've made so far, and now I'm going to just go back there. That's just going to say, if we know their first name, say it. Otherwise, it will say, hi, Strong Tahoe member. Okay, this is the basic. All right. Not need a room. You don't need it. Okay. All right, so that's looking pretty good to me. So next thing I'll do is just save it. Okay, Now let's do a quick preview just to see how this is going to look. You can do just that. Make sure this link is good. Open that in a new tab. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is. Okay, so that's opening the right link. That's good. It's all matching up. May 7th, 2025. Okay, let's go back to mobile. Oops. Okay, so non-mobile, that's looking good. All right, the only thing I might do is I don't think it's really necessary to have this bold down here. Okay. Make a little, just add a little bit of spacing. All right, and I think I'm good. I'm happy with that. So now we'll go next. And I'm going to have this sent out to our Stronger Tahoe email subscribers. That's just, I'll keep all of that. I'm going to schedule this for today, since it's a week from this event, and it's 10:37. So, yeah, let's just send it out at 11 a.m. Give it a few extra minutes in case schedule. Okay, and so now this is scheduled to be sent today at 11. And one thing I can do too, if I want to just do a quick check, I can always go and basically do a preview, have it sent to my actual email. You can change it into yours there. So I'm going to send a preview. And once that's done, okay. So now I'm going to go over here and I can see May 7th, Meetup, walk the neighborhood, see what's working, what's not. Join us for, okay. Nick or May, okay. So yeah, looking at this, looks good to me. Just testing the link again. All right. Yep, happy with that. Okay, so the next thing I will do is I'm going to basically, we have that now. And so one of the things that the chatbot asked, would you like a version formatted for a social media flyer or poster too? So what I'm going to do, I've been using Canva for this. Let's see, is this the right folder? It's not the correct folder, but I have these. I have a Strong North Tahoe folder. This is something obviously I can get access to. So here's our last event flyer. What I'm going to do basically is I'm going to basically tell. Let's see, can we copy that? Let's see if I'm going to tell it to create a version for that. Okay, can't copy paste that into there. Looks like I need to export it as an image or download it. At this point, this is fine. Okay, so it's going to download that, and then I'm just going to drop it into ChatGPT and tell it to give me the text for a similar flyer. So it's just taking a sec. Okay, so I'll just whatever downloads. Okay, so now I'll drop that into here, into my chatbot, and I'll say, yes, please provide text I can use in the format of the attached flyer. Let's see, I'm not sure if this is in people's way. Keeping it ultra brief and to the point, like the attached flyer. I'll say, sometimes I'll say stuff like, you have a tendency to be too verbose for flyers like this, so make sure the copy you provide will fit. Okay, so now it's basically, it's got the context of the meetup. We've given it what kind of flyer stuff should go on here. Okay, monthly meetup. Okay, great. So now, I'm just going to start copying this over. Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to duplicate this. And so make a copy, Canva. Okay, we'll say this is our May 2025 event flyer. And okay, perfect. And then let's get this. All right, let's give it more. That's a bit verbose, I would think. All right, so yeah, I might. I guess that could be part of this. So yeah, I mean, every single poster I do a little bit of modifications. So like here, I'll do, I'll make that bold. We'll walk King's Speech together, see what's working, what's not. No speech, no slides, just a real look at our streets and what they could be. All right, and then yeah, the other stuff I already know. So obviously, I'm just gonna say Wednesday, May 7th, 6 to 7:30, and then this is Meetup at. So this one's a little different because there's meet at Tahoe backyard. Wrap, and then I'll just do a line break here. Wrap up. At, okay, and then normally we do our after parties at Whitecaps, but this time around we're doing a different thing. All right, let's see. Walk, and then yeah, here's these. I'm just gonna go in here and get these little guys off of there because I don't want to copy and paste those in. Okay, so we got that. Right, perfect. And then this QR code, these come from the actual meetups. And so, like, here's the main neighborhood meetup. If I go here and I edit this event, I can get the QR code for this event. And that is here. Okay, so I'm gonna download that. And in this one, I do have my Dropbox folder where I have stuff for Strong North Tahoe. So this is shared to leadership. If it's don't have access, let me know. Whoever I'm talking to right now. So here's the walk audit. Okay, so I'll say May walk audit QR, just so I know what this is. Okay, now I go back over to the event flyer and I'm gonna drop this one in. Okay, so you can see that. And I keep the old one there just to kind of reference like where this new one should go. Obviously gonna resize it. And one of the things I'll do, just, basic alignment. I'm not a designer, but do some basic aligning. Okay, and then one of the last things I'll do is we want to make sure that we actually have the right QR code. So I will scan it myself, like I'm using my phone right now. Okay, open that on my phone. Okay, great. And that is opening at the right place. So that means I am happy with this. Okay, so now I'm going to download this updated flyer. On this one, I'm going to do a JPEG, which is good for sharing. You should do like yeah, that's fine. You don't want this to be too huge. I'll do quality. Again, you don't want these to be too big or else they're hard to share. So I'll say limit file size, let's say 150 kilobytes. Okay, so I'll download that. It's going to go through a little export. Okay, and then that's going. I'm going to start another download. Okay, so yeah, here we go. May 25 event flyer.jpg. And then I'll also now do a PDF. So this is going to be good for, okay, so there we go. This way people can print this, that kind of stuff. May 25 event flyer. Okay, so you can see both of these are reasonably sized files. So now I have the ability to go and post these on like the Facebook group and that sort of thing. So that's kind of my final step here is I'm going to go to Facebook. Oh yeah, I don't use Facebook on this work computer, so I might do this a little bit later. But this is, here, I'll pause this. Okay, so now I'm going to post it, starting with Strong North Tahoe. This is our private Facebook group. And one of the things I will do now is, now that I've created the flyer, I'm going to basically put it back into here. There's definitely a fair amount of this like back and forth stuff. So I'm going to say, I'm sharing this event flyer on SNT private Facebook group, draft brief, reader oriented, actionable, supporting text to go along with it. Okay, so this is, again, I'm just sort of like just trying to speed up this whole process. Okay, that is perfect. Didn't look so. And then what I'll do is I will drop the flyer in here, because this flyer kind of is a bit more actionable. Okay, so looks good to me. Boom. Okay, and so now I will do another one, which is draft a version for the Kings Beach Tahoe Vista group. And then sometimes I'll do on this is just to make it so these feel a little bit more relevant. I'll actually go to this Kings Beach Tahoe Vista group, and if there's anything that seems particularly relevant on here, sometimes I'll paste this in. But honestly, like right now, I'm just doing a bunch of scrolling. So what I might do here is, just kind of like copy. This is kind of, and this just gives it a quick idea of some of the recent stuff that's going on. So what I'll do then is I'm just going to copy a bunch of these things, some previous Stronger Tahoe posts we've done. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Give it like a week's worth of stuff and say, draft version of the community group. Here is some recent activity on that page. Try to use any in the text try to use to inspire your draft, but keep it simple, short. So I don't even know. Oh, look at that. Did it? Yeah, okay. Well, okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. So now I'll go and I'll just post Dealy on here, and we'll drop in our May event flyer. Okay, so now I'm going to post that. This goes out to a few thousand people, so it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. And then the only other place sometimes I'll post this is on Nextdoor, just because this is kind of a different set of neighbors. Let's see. Right, so now we'll say now a version I can post on next door. Okay, so let's go over here and we will create a post. Not to anyone, we'll do nearby neighborhoods. Let's just make sure. Okay. Sure, it seems fine. I don't really use Nextdoor that much, so I'm just gonna do what it says. And then I'll say on Nextdoor, they aren't as familiar with North Tahoe, so make sure to provide a bit of context. I like this because I can just quickly, I don't even have to. Yeah, this just does all. This does like I give it the ideas, and then this does kind of the heavy lift. Okay, that looks cool. So I'll copy that. Okay. Definitely got. Okay. Wait, and is this? Yeah, I guess I like that. Okay. So yeah, I guess it looks like Nextdoor doesn't support formatting, so I had to kind of go through here. Can I do this? Nope. All right, so this is just only this plain text, which is fine. Okay, so yeah, this one I'm not even gonna. I like this image will be fine, so I'm just gonna post that on here. Okay. Perfect. Good on that. All right, let's see. So yeah, that's there. And then the only other one, sometimes I think that's good. At this point, you can start going and posting in a lot of different Facebook groups and that sort of thing. But honestly, at this point, I'm like, can always ask other people to do it too. But that's kind of the key, the standard operating procedure I use for starting to get the word out. It's a week in advance of this next event. And then the only other thing I usually do is if you go back into the emails, I typically follow a kind of like two more email thing where you can see that I'll usually do like let's see, this one was March 31st. And so before that one, I had sent the first email about it. And then I had sent kind of one that was like a week before. And then I'll say I send a day of. And so what right now is probably a good time to do is also just quickly duplicate this and do a version for the Monday before. All right, so I will edit this and I'll basically say in my ChatGPT window, I'll say below is email going out today. I want a follow-up one sent on Monday before the event, May would that be 5th. Please revise or please draft that version. Okay. So, all right. So yeah, as you can see, this starts a little personal. See if that works. Okay, so we'll put that in there. And then that in there. And then now let's see, what do we have? quick reminder. Okay, good. Oops. Okay, let's see. How did this... What happened here? Sometimes there's little issues like that, so I'm actually going to go out of here and go back to that copy. So here's our copy. Okay, there we go. All right, do some basic formatting. All right. Oh yeah, I gotta make sure I update that subject. So even though I use AI for a lot of stuff to help, obviously there's still quite a bit of stuff to do. So let's save that. All right. Let's see here. Okay, there's something going on with this one, so it looks like I actually have to start over. But this gives you the idea. I'm going to do another copy for the day of, and that is... What's going on with this one? Okay, well, so that's working now. Try this one more time. Put this over here so I can actually start with the preview text. Okay, can we save you? Okay, that said save. Try this subject. Oh, it probably doesn't like that little character. That's what I'm guessing is going on. Good to know. No weird characters. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the stuff that's different from here to the last one. Oh, okay, this is what we want. All right, so let's go preview. All right, looks good. So next, and then this is the important part, is the actual scheduling. And so I'm going to schedule this one for the Monday before. And I like to try to get these people kind of like mid-morning after they've had a chance to kind of go through work emails, whatever. Maybe they have a little bit of downtime. Hopefully this is when it reaches them. Okay, so I'll schedule that. And then the last one I'll do is now a day of version. I'll send around 2 p.m. 4 hours before, kind of that like final reminder. So I'll go here. Oh, it looks like this one's just starting to get sent. So now I'll duplicate this. Right. And okay, so where's my copy? Okay, there we go. There's my copy. Right. And Okay, do a quick preview on that. All right, happy with it. Next, and then yeah, I will set this, like I said, what did I say, 1 p.m. or 2 p.m.? Yeah, 2 p.m., I believe. It's 2 p.m., correct. So now I'll schedule this for the actual day at 2 p.m. Okay, schedule it. Okay, so yeah, now I basically got, this is about a half hour, all this stuff. So it takes some time, but it's a lot. We've got the email announcement going out. We've got the flyer created. We've got the follow up email announcement, and then the final day of kind of in the works. So now it's kind of like the things are in motion, and I can actually see now I actually got the first email that I scheduled because it turned 11 while we are doing this. Here it is. Boom. Uh, so yeah, that's it. That's kind of my standard operating procedure about a week out from an event, starting to get the word out.